In this video, I'll explain the 3 most important skills that you need to make you the best footballer. Only a few players in the world can call themselves the best, but if you develop these 3 skills, then you'll be able to call yourself the best in your team in no time. Skill number 1, work rate. And we all know these type of players. If they were to actually try, and if they weren't lazy, they would be special. You try to encourage them and push them, but they just don't respond to it. Work rate is one of the hardest things to coach in soccer. Players either work hard or they don't, and it's hard to push them to make that big of a difference or a sustaining, long-lasting one. It is down to each player individually to make that conscious effort to work hard if they're not necessarily naturally hardworking. What do I mean when I say hardworking players? Players who are hard workers always put more effort in than they have to. They don't work hard for show. They work hard because they want to win the game and their desire and passion that drives them to go and win the game. If you're a lazy player listening to this, then you need to find it within yourself to change that. You need to push yourself outside of your comfort zone, because if you don't, you'll always be known as a player that could have been. Skill number 2, high soccer IQ. What does Messi, Dijk, and De Bruyne all have in common? They are the world's best players in their position, and they all play with high intelligence. For attackers, watching Messi and KDB play is a super useful tool for improving your own creativity in your game. They are always aware of where their pressure is and where it's coming from, so that way they can take their touch away from it and beat the pressure. They also play their passes with disguise so that it's not easily read and anticipated by the defenders. For Van Dijk, his intelligence is more in reading and anticipating the game. He is able to analyze the pictures and the scenarios that are thrown in front of him in just seconds. So that way, he is able to read the attacker's mind and anticipate what he is doing before he even does it, and then can easily diffuse the situation. I want you to understand that this is a skill, meaning that it can be developed. And this is where having a good coach really is important, because they can help teach you and guide you to making better decisions and becoming a more intelligent player. Also, you can develop your soccer IQ by watching more soccer games. Watch like Premier League or La Liga games so that you can learn from the best of the best. When you're watching these games, analyze and evaluate the players that are playing your positions and consider why they are making the decisions that they are making. This will lead to growth in your soccer IQ because you'll start recognizing pictures when you're playing in games and start making decisions that the pros would have made. Also, another way that you can improve your soccer IQ is to watch and study film on yourself. And I go into more detail in this video here. If you guys have liked the video so far, then please subscribe. It's free and you can always change your mind later. The 3rd skill that defines the best players in the world is consistency. This is the most important trait that all the best players have. And there's 2 types of consistency. Typically when we think of consistency, we think of the level that we're playing at in games. Being consistent in this context means that you are regularly playing well. Every time you play, there is an expectation of how well you're going to play based off of your abilities. And if you're consistent, then that means you're regularly meeting these expectations. The other aspect of consistency, and the more important one in my opinion, is being consistent in your training. And this means being consistent as in regularly training, but also in the level of your training. So this means when you're trying to be a consistent player, you need to make sure that the level of your training is intense and it's at game speed as much as possible, and you're also training 5 to 6 days a week. If you want to be the best at whatever level you're at, then you need to train more than anybody else. And this means supplementing your club and high school practices with training sessions on your own. If you need any ideas of training sessions for you to use on your own, then look at this playlist here, where I have loads of individual training sessions for you to try on your own. Now you know the 3 skills that define the best players in the world. But as you try to improve these skills, you won't necessarily see the results you are looking for because you have low confidence. Click this video here where I teach you how to improve your confidence. Thanks for watching.